Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris Bigelow here with Monster Development, and I wanted to talk to you today about setting up a professional podcast for your business or brand. So, a lot of customers have been asking us recently about podcasting, and so I wanted to go over how we can set up a podcast for you on your Monster Development powered website so you can go ahead and podcast to the world and get more reach and spread your message to the masses. So today I'm just going to walk through really quickly how that works and what it kind of looks like so you can get an idea of how this will work for your business. So basically how it works is we set up inside of your Monster Development powered website, we will set up an area for you to post your podcast episodes directly. So you can see here, there'll be a new section in your site called podcast, and you can go ahead and put in your episodes. You can have series, and there's all sorts of settings and different extensions available and things of that nature. But the basics of it is that you'll be able to run your podcast directly from inside of your website. So at any point in time when you want to add a new episode, you just log into your website and just add a new episode just like it was content on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you a really quick example here. Title of episode right there. So that'd be basically the title of your podcast, and then down here was where you would put in the file. Now, a podcast can be either audio or video format. Nowadays, video is by far the more popular method for doing a podcast. There's all sorts of podcasts out there. Things like Joe Rogan podcast, you probably heard about that. His podcast is a video formatted podcast and is available widely on many different platforms. So, and you might have heard he just got $100 million podcasting deal. So podcasting is definitely here to stay and is a very popular way to reach lots of people. The competition for podcasts is a lot lower than it is for things like blogging and other methods of getting traffic to your business and traffic to your website. So it's a great way to get a lot more people interested in your products and services. So you'll see here, if I come in, I can choose my podcast to be audio or video, and then I can go ahead and upload my file directly to the website, and then that file will be served out to the masses. I can put in the duration of my podcast, the file size, the date recorded, and some other settings down there. So once I've done that, then my podcast will show up in the podcast directory. So I'm going to go ahead and pop back out here, and you'll see this is one of our clients, and this is a podcast we've created for them. And you'll see that this podcast is available. I'm in the podcast directory. You can see that there's a couple other podcasts I'm subscribed to, and then you can see here's the one in question that I was just referring to that's a client podcast. So if I click on that, you can see here's the most recent episodes, and then this is what it looks like from the back end. So just briefly going to show you here. Here's the Exponential Growth Portfolios podcast episode, and you can see when I come down here, we're serving this off Amazon, but you can see there's it's a video podcast and different details for that podcast, and then we have the featured image and things of that nature. You'll see there's some statistics that show up right here on the amount of listens and total listeners and things of that nature. In addition to that, out on the customer's website, you can see here there's a podcast link in the main menu, and here's what it looks like. So here's the exact podcast episode, and you'll see if I click on this, then I'll go ahead and I'll get the actual podcast post, and here's all the information that you see here in the back end in the admin area. So you can see the podcast episode, and I can play it right here on the website as well. You can see the subscribe, iTunes, Stitcher. Right now, those are the two places that they have set up. We have set up with this particular podcast. And so if you're out on either of those locations, then you can view that particular podcast. So I'm here, and you can see here's that exact episode, right? So if I click on that, I can get obviously bits of information. Here's all the notes for the podcast as well as the transcript. And then if I play it, you can see it's a video podcast. So, and that will be fed out through the iTunes podcast directory as I'm in now, and you can go ahead and subscribe through your mobile devices, and it'll just distribute it for you, and Apple will actually promote this for you. So you can focus solely on creating your podcast. The other cool part of this is that you will be able to list your podcast in many other places. So, for example, like Stitcher, Spotify, the Google Podcast directory. There's several other places that you'll be able to feed your podcast out to. And so you'll be able to start growing your listener base, your subscriber base from one central location and have it fed out to all these different places. So you'll just come into your podcast settings here and you'll be able to put in your iTunes URL, your Stitcher URL, your Google Play URL, and your Spotify URL. And that's going to create those subscribe links. And using this feed will automatically create a feed for you when we create this podcast. And that feed will be how you connect your Stitcher account, your iTunes, your Spotify, and your Google Play Store podcast account. So once you do all that, you'll be able to start podcasting directly from your website. Once the setup's done, there's some graphic work and a little bit of things that need to be done. We'll help with all that. And that's part of our new podcasting product that we're going to be releasing with this video. So this video will also be the first video in our new podcast for Monster Development. So we're going to create one and do a little more training and things like that. And while we're setting that up, we're going to be setting it up for Monster Development. So you'll be able to subscribe to our podcast as well. So we're looking forward to helping all of our customers get their professional podcast set up and start reaching more people through podcasting. And hopefully you'll be able to podcast like a boss and get a ton of new subscribers and a lot more customers for your business. And we look forward to helping you. So if you're interested in getting a podcast set up, please contact me, Chris Bigelow, at monsterdevelopment.com. You can go to our website and click on contact and reach out to us. We'll be happy to set up a podcast for your business. Thanks so much.